Greetings, I'm Professor Nania Bola Muller.
My name is Levi Singh.
My name is Karabo Mangena.
My name is Steve Litsike.
Well, my name is Natasha Limiko Mashotana.
I'm Itabo Mazibuwo.
My name is Hakima Madinga.
I'm Tsapam Masilo.
I think a space like Y20 is important because it includes young voices and young perspectives like myself. I think we really, as young people, we have the experiences and we are the ones that have the challenges within our communities. When it comes to social development, when it comes to employment, I mean, South Africa has one of the highest rates of youth unemployment. Our education system is something that has a lot of gaps within. So I think including that young perspective can really inform policy discussion and policy dialogue. I mean, we're bringing fresh perspectives in the policy recommendations that is new, it's fresh, it's South African. It shows where we stand. So I think a platform like this should not just be here. It should be extended to communities. It should be extended to the Cape Flats. It should be extended to small rural areas where young people like myself can also be included in the conversation. Thank you.
I am here in Pretoria, having joined the pre-summit held by the Y20 alongside the many activities across the country that are doing or focusing on G20. As you all know that South Africa chairs the G20 in this year, and our President Ramaphosa, His Excellency, is steering the ship to bring the world together towards G20 heads of state meeting later in the year. And yes, indeed, we're focusing on young people's role in terms of how young people must participate in economy, in social issues, in multilateralism, in digital innovation, and so forth. But the main thing is resolution that comes from these engagement groups that goes into the communique as part of declaration. Yes, negotiations will happen, but young people have agency in terms of ensuring that their youth agenda is integrated. How we are going to make sure that some of the issues that comes out of this are integrated. Our department responsible for mainstreaming will be engaging with different working groups to make sure that we thoroughly look at the solutions that young people are producing, but they are integrated in the declaration. We want a declaration that is youth-centered, but that also speaks about peaceful world that focuses on young or youth people and their participation meaningfully.
This is under the G20 presidency of South Africa, and currently I'm at the Y20 Pre-Summit. The G20 looks at issues that are related to society and to our economies, and so the voices of youth and women are very important in this conversation, and this is why I'm here to join Y20 today as a representative of Women 20. We're proud to be able to work together with the youth and young women in particular, and we're hoping that our recommendations are taken seriously by the leaders and that we see them in the Leaders' Declaration at the summit in November of 2025 before we hand over to the United States of America at the end of this year. So join the conversation with Women 20, with Y20, and with G20, and see if South Africa can actually make a difference.
How can platforms like Y20 ensure that young people are not only consulted but also co-create democratic solutions at national and global levels? And I think firstly would have to define what democratic solutions are, and that obviously would be within a context, so it needs to be contextually relevant. Then teach and educate the youth to build a consensus on this idea of a democratic solution. So secondly, using participatory approaches, meaning I'm using youth agency, which is something they have and inherently have because of their circumstances, using their agency to contribute in the process design of the whole event, and then empowering them through knowledge or using knowledge. Secondly, they could use strategic foresight methods. We need to get the youth to talk about what is business as usual and what their preferred futures look like, and then try to talk about what is happening already that looks like it is a seed. It's some sort of a seed towards this desired future, and therefore develop transformative strategies using these ideas that already exist. So yeah, that is overall how democratic solutions need to be designed by the youth, for the youth, and around youth issues. Thank you.
The founder of Freshly Organic. We manufacture handcrafted soaps and lip balm using organic ingredients. So as a young entrepreneur, the message I'm hoping to share with other delegates is that Africa is rich with solutions, and we have indigenous knowledge that can help tackle global problems. So the platform of Y20 is very important to include young people when it comes to drafting policies, because young people are the future, and when you draft these policies with young people in mind, you know that your future is secured. So I don't think the G20 countries are doing enough to support young people, especially in Africa, because we're still lagging behind due to infrastructure and other colonial challenges. And then finally, for me to be here today means a lot, because I get to meet other like-minded entrepreneurs to share ideas and solutions to problems that we are currently facing, especially problems like climate and lack of inclusivity when it comes to digital economy and basically jobs. I thank you.
Yes, that's me here. I'm here as an innovator and a business leader at the Y20 today, and I'm here to share my solutions on AI and all that, and also the youth and what the youth hold in terms of creating policy, given the fact that they're the ones that will govern one day. So they need to understand what they'll be coming into and how to take the baton from the leaders that are leading us, so they can lead the younger generations that are coming after us. So yeah.
That's right. That's true. Just to add on to what Tepang said, there's an epidemic right now where the youth aren't involved in politics. They don't care about what's happening to them. They feel the effect of it, but they don't want to be the ones affecting it. So, and by it I mean changes and as he said, policy making. So instead of just plopping them later on in the future, they should be a part of it from now. Let's create the interest. Let's develop the interest. It's not up to them to do it by themselves, but it's up to us. And it's very easy, because politics isn't boring.
Sure.
It's not something that's got nothing to do with them.
Sure.
It's got everything to do with them.
Exactly.
So when you involve them, include them, and don't just include them by telling them what's happening, but ask for their opinions and their thoughts.
Sure.
You have to ask the youth what the youth need to some degree, to some extent.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
absolutely.
Spaces like the Y20 are incredibly important simply because this is the largest generation of young people in human history. There are currently 1.8 billion young people who are under the age of 35 globally, and this is the largest generation of young people in human history. So when it comes to policy, anything that determines our futures means that we need to have a seat at the table so that we're making input into the policy, the programs, and ultimately the budgets that will determine how the future of the world and the future of our lives look. And therefore, spaces like the Y20 and other engagement groups are incredibly important for young people to engage meaningfully in, to shape the policies that go on to inform the programs and how the budgets are spent in the world.